Wowie! Another content cop? It's like I'm in 2016 all over again. Come on, guys, let's check it out.
They will attempt to ruin their lives. And once again, I'm the crazy one. It's not bad enough that I have this group of friends.
What we do here is go back.
Bro, what are the stains on the front of his pants? Oh god, you know what? Just turn it off. Just turn it off, dude. Yeah, if you somehow still haven't heard the news, iDubbbz tried to revitalize his career and get some cash flow injection for his, dead on arrival Creator Clash 3. But he did it with a content cop of all things. And well, naturally, it flopped harder than the Hindenburg. It was actually really bad and honestly hard to watch. Here's just a little piece from the beginning if you can't grasp what I'm saying.
Wake up, Ethan. Wake up. Time to be awake, Ethan.
Wake up, Ethan.
This is no longer a dream. This is a nightmare. Wake up.
Ethan, the dumb bitch is telling you to wake up.
Wake up.
Ethan, wake up.
Wake up, Ethan.
Ethan, wake up.
Wake up.
Since anyone?
Just wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up. Wake up, Ethan.
I'm not gonna do a react content.
Alright, need I say more than that? At this point, Ian has just lost the plot. He was the king of YouTube back in the day, but if you want to make the claim he was kind of cringe even back then, I wouldn't necessarily argue with you, but he had something going on, some kind of unique thing in the commentary space. But now, he's learned empathy at the ripe age of 32.
I think only in these past couple of years have I gained the ability empathy, and I'm very ashamed to admit that. It sounds really pathetic to say at the age of 32 I've acquired empathy.
And with it, he must have lost all semblance of humor as well.
So lately I've been assessing my swag levels, and obviously they're not good. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
Honestly, I don't really want this video to be about the content cop because ironically, there's very little content in it. It's basically just Ian throwing a hissy fit because Ethan was mean to him and said some words on his own podcast about Ian.
IDF, all this types of shit. And that's showing up right up on us Nisa's and iDubbbz feed. My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up. You know why? Because they'll get murdered.
I mean, this whole hour-long video could be described by a never-ending human centipede of nothing burger. And iDubbbz desperately trying to impress his new friend group by cutting any possible ties he had left with H3H3. No, today I want to focus more on Ethan or H3H3's response.
One central point that I want to make here. My good friend Ian, in his hour-long takedown, did not mention one time Child Protective Services. Not one time. In the entire video, he never says CPS. No mention, no explanation, no overview, nothing. Zero mentions of CPS. A few weeks ago, Child Protective Services showed up to our house at 6 a.m. to interrogate us about an anonymous tip they got that our kids were crawling around and eating dog shit at catching diseases. Ian spends the majority of his video characterizing me like a raving lunatic who's lashing out at everyone around me with zero provocation.
And I feel like I am speaking up for a lot of people who have problems with you, and a lot of people who have been on the receiving end of your harassment.
What he doesn't say is the majority of these clips he's using are taken from this episode. Now, does he ever show the title of this episode? No, he does not ever show the title of this episode. Snark called Child Protective Services on us.
Yeah, on this central idea, I would totally agree with Ethan. I'm not like the biggest Ethan supporter or anything. There are some things I disagree with. But I would say this contention is very true about the content cop iDubbbz made. Most of the clips that Ian uses to show Ethan crashing out are all from the same podcast where he addressed the fact that CPS got called to his house. And in the whole 1 hour video, Ian seemingly intentionally ignores the fact that this even happened, not mentioning CPS by name once. I mean, if I was in Ethan's position, I would probably be much more enraged if a chronically online freak like Bad Empanada got Child Protective Services called to my house.
He lets his dogs shit all over his mansion, and he just leaves the shit on the floor, something that is probably related to the fact that his former housekeeper is suing him for a number of different reasons. So I would assume he doesn't actually have a housekeeper anymore, or perhaps he lost his extra housekeeper. So now the house is just like covered in dog shit. And he has kids, and his kids like crawl into the dog shit, and God forbid, I don't know what they do with it. I don't know if they eat it, or if it's just from like contact with it with their hands or something. But they contracted a parasite that I had previously never heard of in my life called Giardia from the dog shit that is all over his house.
It would have been extremely easy for iDubbbz to at least gloss over this topic, as just as Ethan states, the context about the CPS call is very important to the recent situation. If you don't have that context, it does actually make iDubbbz look like he's in the right. It makes Ethan look like an edgy kid just lashing out at everyone he sees because he didn't get his chalky milk. But if you have the full knowledge of the situation, it would be a shock if Ethan wasn't crashing out.
Even after CPS was called, Denham's attempted to justify it by claiming that it's okay because children can't be traumatized.
I don't want you to create any bad memory here for them. Like, they are 5 and 3. They don't understand this shit. So I told him,
create any bad memory for them. You're not forming memories at 3 years old, and it's very rare that you're forming memories at 5 years old.
I mean, could iDubbbz not have cut out that embarrassing display at the end of the video? Where, he's soaking his Forever 41 shirt with his tears over the fact that his wife is an OnlyFans model?
I also see the dynamic of Ethan and Neil. I'm like, fuck, like, it's really hard to be, a couple online and see people attacking your partner, and it's like, okay, like, if you come to their defense, that doesn't always help them, right? Sometimes that makes it worse for them.
And use that time instead to talk about the CPS stuff. Also, another point Ian the Puppet Master makes is that Denham's, everyone's favorite streamer, was being harassed or attacked by Ethan, and that there was no provocation for it. But as Ethan shows, she was literally hyping up the story that caused CPS to get called to Ethan's house, and indirectly encouraged her viewers to mess with Ethan.
I'm standing by every fucking syllable of that, okay? What she did was abhorrent. And by the way,
just don't. Listen, your critique of her is correct. It's just, people are sensitive about women being called that word. And so...
Yeah, any Denham's hate is well-deserved in my opinion. Yet there she is, doing a little jig right at the beginning of the content cop. Even if Ethan saying this about Denham's offended Ian for some reason, if a streamer got CPS called to my family, calling her a dumb female dog is the most tame of the insults I'd be willing to throw her way.
That freak is ugly. That freak is fucking ugly. Get the ugly freak out of my face. Get that ugly, disabled freak away from me.
Now, the next thing Ethan talks about, I think, truly shows the fault in Ian's morals, because on Twitter, there's this armchair psychologist, emphasis on the psycho, Froggy Tonic person, who was like Ian's former editor or something, talking shit about Ethan and regurgitating all the info that got CPS called on him just a few days before CPS actually showed up to Ethan's house.
I used to work with this video editor named Froggy Tonic. I discovered him because he was in the circles online that I was in. There would be an occasional Froggy tweet where I'd be like, I agree with that, Like, I'm not going to endorse it. I'm not going to retweet it or like it. But fair enough. Now, my former editor of a year and a half ago did say some truly mean shit. He called Hila the C word. He said they're trying to kill their dog with cheddar cheese and a bunch of other shit, I'm sure.
Now let me show you the tweets that Ian conveniently omitted. Me when my 3 kids ask me why they haven't seen me in the past 4 months, I was in my basement. How can you shun a fallen fan when they worry about their 3 kids when they can't be bothered to protect their dogs? Ethan was neglectful with his dogs. He's already been neglectful with his kids, and he will continue to be. As a child of a neglectful, bipolar, narcissistic dad, that's precisely why I worry about Ethan's kids. He actually has a perfect opportunity to explain the CPS call, but watch what he does here instead.
Now, my former editor of a year and a half ago did say some truly mean shit. He called Hila the C word. He said they're trying to kill their dog with cheddar cheese and a bunch of other shit.
What other shit, Ian? Other shit is doing a lot of heavy lifting, man.
So yeah, just like Ethan shows, Froggy Tonic was saying all this stuff about his kids and insinuating that Ethan was like a literal demon in his everyday personal life. But iDubbbz almost defending Froggy Tonic, or at least defending his relationship with him, and just passes all the CPS stuff as, oh, the other stuff, not even mentioning it by name. Oh, but mentioning the cheddar cheese tweet, yeah, that's important. That one was beyond the pale. But the tweet shunning Ethan about how he may theoretically abuse his children, let's conveniently leave those out of the content cop. I seriously can't imagine the pain Ethan is going through. I mean, Ian and him were friends for a long time, and even if Ian wants to say they're no longer friends, yada yada yada, even if someone was my literal worst enemy, I would still defend them if insane people on the internet were calling CPS on them with no reason to do so. So how are you going to do this to your own friend? I don't know. Maybe all those really cool tattoos are eating away at Ian's brain cells. Again, Ethan getting pissed on his own personal podcast is not him crashing out. It's just him addressing the situation. There's a difference. If people were doing this to me, I'd be going full John Wick, pulling out grenade launchers. Okay, I would say Ethan's crash out was actually pretty calm for the situation.
Would it have been nicer and more supportive to say, we don't agree with the things he's saying and we support Ethan and Hila? Sure. Like, yeah, that would have been a nicer thing to say. Our silence means something. It means that we would like to pause this relationship until you figure your shit out. And then maybe we can find a moment in time, I don't know how long it'll be, but a moment in time in the future where things are a little bit easier to broach.
Yes, you're allowed to pause a relationship or be silent and not part of the drama. That is true. But to actively message, hang out with, and even feature people in your video who are the main instigators behind this whole CPS situation is not just staying silent or putting a pause on your relationship. Because even if not directly, you are at least inadvertently showing support for the people attacking Ethan that are actually trying to ruin his life. I would no longer consider you a friend anymore too, Balding Man. Also, just a little cherry on top to show how serious the situation is, Ethan got sent human skulls in the mail. So this situation is obviously not just on the internet anymore.
Our silence means something. That's exactly what we felt. Wow, it's almost like we were right about you. There's something that I've never talked about publicly, but around the same time, we received 2 human skulls in the mail at our home, which led us to having a very pleasant interview with the FBI. Things have progressed well past the point of that's just what the internet does.
It's far past that, okay? It's left the realm of psychotic Twitter and now of psychotic people in real life. And for iDubbbz to come out with this content cop just shitting all over Ethan in the midst of all of this shows he's past the point of no return. And I hope for Ian, this minuscule revitalization of your career was worth it. And iDubbbz, even though I know you're not watching this, and if you are, please cry some more. It was very funny. I hope Creator Clash 3 is a catastrophic failure.
Yeah, I really appreciate everyone. I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but I really do appreciate.
We do not care.
Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Please. If we hit 75 likes, I don't know, maybe I'll kick your pet turtle's ventilator through the drywall on a Sunday. Okay, let me know what you think in the comments, and maybe I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.